I really like your explanation because when you were gone, I was answering a question and I said something similar, but in a different way. I just said that if the topic of the article is the same, then you can put different kinds of keywords together. But I like how you said the distinction here is that you're talking about what readers are looking for and what readers are wanting, and I like that a lot. So I think that I want to emphasize that when you deciding what keywords to group together, think about when somebody's searching for that search term, where are they at and what are they looking for? What do they want information on? And if you have different keywords that all mean that the person is looking for the same thing, you put them together. So I'm just repeating what you said, Andrew, in different words to make it clearer that somebody looking for best meat grinder and somebody looking for meat grinder reviews, they're all trying to figure out what is the best meat grinder, and they want information on maybe a list of the best meat grinders. But somebody looking for a specific brand, they want to know about that specific brand. Is it a good meat grinder? Should they get that meat grinder? And that's why we're separating them out. And
Yep.
somebody said, Ty said, I see the difference, but they could both be served with the same article. And yeah, they could, but we don't want to because we want to be very we want to give them the best content for what they're looking for because it will help us make more sales.
Yep. Ty's question was really good. He wrote some follow-ups after that first thing. Basically, another way to think about this is you want to do both here. So if somebody is looking for, so Ty's thinking about a situation where you cover, where say when you write about these hand crank meat grinders, the Lem hand meat grinder is in that article. It's in amongst there, and the Gander meat grinder is in amongst them. It's one of the ones you cover on the list of the best hand meat grinders, and that might be true. There's two ways to write about this at this point, and if you see that all of them are relevant keywords, you want to take advantage of both of these ways. The first one is that, exactly like you're thinking, the Lem hand meat grinder might come up on the list of best hand meat grinders that you write about, and there it will get a short coverage and it will get a lot of comparison to the other ones, okay? But the people who are just searching for that and they weren't interested in the list, they need a bigger breakdown. They want to hear both how it compares to the other article or the other kinds of hand meat grinders, and just as much information as you can give them about that specific product, what it can do, what it can't do, whether there's any, what the price range for it is like, what people's reviews are of that specific product, what things they can make with that they can't make with something else, what add-on bits can you get for it that you can't get for the other ones. So what you'll end up with here in this situation where a viable keyword was best hand meat grinder and a viable keyword was Lem hand meat grinder, what you might end up with is a best article that covers the top 5 and a specific product review which goes into detail on the Lem hand meat grinder. And you'll have it so that, again, this is section 3 stuff, but you'll have it so that in your article about the best meat grinders, when you mention the Lem meat grinder, you link them through to the full review that you wrote on that product. So they can either get a quick blurb and see how it compares to the others, or they can read everything they could possibly want to know about it in a unique article. Ty, does that answer your question?
He said yes.
Got
and
it.
Thank you. I thought it was a great answer.
Okay, we're in the danger zone for this webinar. Attention spans cannot be at their height. It's an hour and 48 and we've just been deep in keyword research. What's everybody's mood? Give me some comments. How's your mood summarized in one word? Mike, fading. Head hurts, exhausted. I love this. Knackered.
See what you did?
Vissing. What does that mean, Mark? Tired? Coffee? I'm only reading out the bad ones. Shiraz. That's amazing. Distracted. Don't do it, Melissa. Don't do it. Weary. Yeah, I would be weary. This is great. Confusicating. I like that one. Yeah, that is a good rule for life, Greg. Okay. Yeah, somebody said maybe we should make the webinars shorter and have more of them.
We
Yeah.
can't make the webinars shorter because Andrew likes to talk a lot. So therefore, all webinars must be
Hey,
at least 3 hours. He warned me that in
it's
advance.
it's not just me. Come on, there's lots of things to cover. People, even after all this, people still had questions. Okay, listen, let's keep moving now. We're going to go, we're nearly at the end for those of you who are tearing your hair out. The real point of this is that you'll have all of this information to come back to, and if you weren't sure, if later something ends up confusing you, you'll have the resource of this webinar to come back to. And usually we have somebody who is very kind and smart who goes through and notates these webinars. We haven't found exactly who's going to do that yet, Sarah, but somebody will go through and have a big timesheet where it says minute 127 they talked about this problem with keyword groups, and minute 39 they talked about this problem, and you'll be able to go through and quickly get back to the parts that are most important to you, or that you need answers on coming up. So look forward to that. Should we keep moving, Sarah?
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, why are you
Sorry,
laughing?
I just saw the best part. I love Bert. Bert is my new favorite member for this week. He said he was confused, but then he goes, just kidding. Nearly all of this is helpful. The
I'm
word
glad to hear
nearly.
the
That's the best.
It's
Well
great.
played, Bert. You win a prize. All right, let's go to the general Q&A now, where even if you hated everything that got said in the last hour about keyword research, we can go back to just asking anything. This is the final point where you must not be able to leave unless the question that was preventing you from moving forward or really confusing you the most has been answered. So wait, should we go back to slides now? Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to say also that about this whole keyword research with keyword groups and Diamond Keyword Miner, what you do now is you heard us talk about this in detail and hopefully not confuse you more, hopefully clarify things. Now you go back and work on your spreadsheets and try to implement what we were talking about and see if everything's clear. And we will talk about this again, so you can come back on the next coaching call and ask us about it. And we will talk about keyword research again in the next call. Hopefully that will make things even clearer. And also, if you have any questions at any time, feel free to ask at the support desk, because that's what it's there for.
Right. Okay, Jason, let me have a look. Just this part moves a bit slowly, guys, because I got to read out the questions before we answer them. So forgive the white space. No, I was going to say something. I'm not going to say it at all. Yeah, Jason, I'll type you an answer there quickly. Oh,
Anka, while you type the answer, Anka asks what anomalies are. Are they an error in Google's algorithm? Anomalies are low competition areas. They're not really an error in the algorithm. It's just that Google didn't find anything better to put there. So that's what they put there. And that means, yes, that we have a good chance of taking these spots. So anomalies are low competition areas. Somebody asked about going into more than one market in order to reduce the risk. We said a lot of times, go into one market.
you reduce the risk by finding lots of corners. It's at that level that you diversify as much as you can.
Right.
Hi, Sherry.
The recording will be posted a Friday morning US time in the members area.
Bye, Kathy. Where are you going? Why is Kathy's going on a flight tomorrow? James said, when selecting a website name, does it need to play into the market? Is it important to pick a domain name and stick with it forever? The idea is that you will stick with the same domain name and the same site forever. And yes, it is important that it plays into that market. It's worthwhile. I mean, Sarah, maybe you can talk about this one according to the videos that you did.
Yeah, so do we talk about it now? There's almost nobody
That's
up to
true.
that.
That's true. Yep.
So we'll talk about it in the next call. Also, Shane is asking if a domain name is good, and it domain name is not what I explained in the video. So follow the instructions in the video on how to pick a domain name. There are very clear instructions. We'll talk about it next time. If you are already up to that part and really want to know, then ask us at the support desk.
Dave said, I'm struggling to find 5 corners with the right profit levels. At what point do you throw in the towel and change markets? If you picked a good market from the beginning, like a broad enough market that suited the criteria, that still had that kind of that clear avatar where the same person could or should be interested in lots of different products, you shouldn't need to change the market. But it could mean, like if you've really searched a lot of things and you're not finding any corners that are profitable, it could either mean that you picked a market that was too narrow and you might want to think more broadly about it, or that um, there wasn't enough popularity in this group of things, in this group of corners. If you're not quite clear on the decision, if it's really not, if you really want to know um, whether it's worth trying a different kind of umbrella market from the beginning, you can ask us at the support desk as well.